Am I using Bamboo 2X darts? They're going to jam. When I use Nerf Pro darts, they're going to jam. When I use Ember darts, they're going to jam. Another complaint I have is the gritty prime. It's terrible. This is the first time I actually had an angry rant on the channel, and for good reason. I wanted this to be good. This is bad. Hello everyone, Rickosaurus227 here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Nerf Pro Torrent, Nerf's first official pro springer. Does it live up to the hype? Sadly, it does not. Let's find out why. Included is the blaster, stock covering, 15 Nerf Pro darts, magazine, safety glasses, and instructions. Get them out of here. Alright guys, let's get into the overview, starting with the grip. It is a really, really solid grip. I thought I wouldn't like it, but it's very nice, very comfortable. It is big and it will alienate some small hands, but it is a really solid and really good grip. Moving on to the trigger, it has a really nice kind of poofy feel when you pull it. I really like it. And there's a safety right under here. Now, one of the biggest complaints I've seen with this blaster is the mag release, and mainly that's just user error. Because when the blaster's primed forward, it's really hard to insert the mag, and it's really hard to take it out. What you're supposed to do is actually prime the blaster back first, then you want to take out your mag, which is extremely smooth to take out once you prime this back. It doesn't mag drop, but it's still really smooth. You just got to pull this priming handle back first, which a lot of people aren't doing. Speaking of the priming handle, we have the pump grip up here, which is another thing I thought I was going to hate. But it's really nice. It's a really good pump grip. It's really comfortable, and I like it. Up at the barrel, there's no in-strike barrel lug, and there's no way to attach a scar barrel. However, there are kits now that you can get, I believe from Xbox Games, that you can attach a scar barrel to, which is nice. It does have a plastic barrel, which a lot of people have been complaining about. There's really no reason to complain about it. It shoots just as good and just as accurate as any other metal barrel pro blaster. And this plastic barrel is built really well from what I've seen in the testing I've done. Up here we have a rail. This is a rival rail, not a pick rail or an in-strike rail, which is kind of weird. It's a weird choice, but you can take an adapter to it if you want to adapt it to different rails. I believe there's some 3D printed parts you can get if you want to adapt it to a pick rail. I actually forgot to touch on the magazine release. It's pretty nice and comfortable. It's up here and it's pretty easy to reach on both ends. I really don't mind it at all. Right here we have the opening for the access door. To get to the access door, you have to pull this back first, and then you can access it. Now it's kind of hard to close, but the best way to close it is just by priming the blaster forward, and it's nice and closed. Back here we have the stock. This is actually a removable stock shroud that reveals an in-strike stock point. However, in my testing, there's only 2 Nerf brand stocks that work well with it. The Stockade stock and the Regulator stock. And what I mean by what works best with it, I'm not talking about length, I'm talking about how the stock mount is designed. Because pretty much every other Nerf stock I have does not sit on there well. It's very flexy and bendy and just easy just to pull off. It's terribly designed, and there's like only 2 stocks in my entire collection of stocks that work with it. So that's a big deal. That's a really big problem. I will say though that the stock shroud is really well made and has really good quality. I was expecting this part to be cheap, but it wasn't. It holds on there pretty well. I suppose you could put a sling on there, but if enough roughing around, you probably can't get that off. So I would maybe put a sling here and on the mag if you wanted to do a sling, but it doesn't really work that well. I would just get a Nerf stock and attach it on here. There's no actual switch or anything you turn to get it off like a traditional in-strike stock. Alrighty, let's move on to operation of the blaster. To prime it, you pull back the pump grip, which is very hard and gritty. That's because there's a piece of plastic stuck in there that's rubbing against the inside of the blaster. It is a terrible design. It can be removed, but it is a terrible design, and it's really gritty and terrible to just prime. It's so uncomfortable. But you hit the mag release, take your mag out, and load in a few darts. Put your mag back in, prime it forward, and fire. And it gets pretty good performance. Generally around the 150 FPS mark, which is pretty good. And even with the plastic barrel, it is extremely accurate. But I've had a few jams and malfunctions with this blaster. And it doesn't matter what dart. Am I using Bamboo 2X darts? They're going to jam. When I use Nerf Pro darts, they're going to jam. When I use Ember darts, they're going to jam. When I use Ruby darts, they're going to jam. And when I use the new Nitro Shot darts, they're going to jam. But before I give my final opinion on this blaster and go on a big rant, let's take it out to the range. Firing one mag of the included Nerf Pro darts. Let's try some Nitro Shot darts. Now trying some Ember darts. What the heck? The absolute frick. It broke! There's no way. What the heck was that? It locked up. This is bad. A Nerf Pro dart at 40 feet. Another one at 47. Another one at 52. Got an Ember at 61. A Nitro Shot dart that got stuck in here. Ember dart at 77. The main grouping of Nitro Shot and Nerf Pro darts at 88 feet, which is pretty decent. And we got the farthest at 100 feet, and there might be a couple in here, but there's one over there. That's not too bad ranges, but the inconsistency in the Nerf Pro darts. Wow. So what are my thoughts on the Nerf Pro Torrent? It is terrible. There is a few positives of the blaster, like it's really nice and comfy. It has a really, really good shell quality. It looks amazing. It's really great for CQB. It has a lot going for it, especially these mags. These mags are amazing. But that's where the good stuff ends, because the jams. The jams are my biggest complaint. And what really sucks is that 90% of the jams can't be cleared with this little jam button. In fact, I think this jam button's broken because I haven't been able to use it the entire time of owning this blaster. During the range test, it was locking up. It was squibbing Nerf Pro darts in particular. It was just terrible. Also, another complaint I have is it has no slam fire at all. Now, that's not as big of a deal because it does open the gate for mob potential, but this is further proof that Hasbro is trying to phase out slam fire, which they actually confirmed. I swear, Hasbro, if you take Slamfire away from me, I will find you.
But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you.
Another complaint I have is the gritty prime. It's terrible. You can feel the plastic scraping and it's awful. Also, the stock compatibility issue. It's terrible. And you know what actually sucks? These problems aren't consistent in every product, which means some products are going to work good, which I know some people who have had good ones, but then some people are going to have bad ones. A lot of people have been having bad ones. It seems to be more bad than good, actually, which really sucks. I would prefer that every single blaster were bad because I know what I'm getting into. When you have blasters that are good and bad and not working and all over the place, you're basically gambling for the blaster you're getting. I had the same problem with the Pinpoint. Why can't I buy a blaster and just know that it's going to work? It's even happening with the Nerf Pro Cinder, and now I'm not sure if I should get the Nerf Pro Cinder because I'm broke, okay? I don't need to be spending $50 on a blaster just to review. Even though I want to, I'm scared that I'm gonna get nothing out of it. This could have been a really good blaster. It probably would have made on my top 10 list of the year, and they had to ruin it. Completely ruin it. With all of these issues. Now, these issues can be fixed. Yeah, you have to take it apart, cut some parts of the plastic, realign some things, and it works, but you have to do that. I definitely do not give this a good recommendation unless you're a modder who wants to get into it and fix things, because this does have quite a bit of mod potential. I will say that, even more than the Nexus and Aeon Pro X. But that's about it. That's the only reason you would get this, because you would have to mod it and fix it. Otherwise, do not get this. Avoid this at all costs. Get an Aeon Pro X. Trust me. I'm going to give this blaster a 4 out of 10. I want to give it a 2 or even 1 out of 10. I'm so mad. But because it has some redeeming qualities, the high modability, this has quite a bit of modability. The fact that you can fix it and tinker around with it is pretty nice. The shell quality is good, and it's really comfortable. That's about it. That's it. That's the only reason to get it, is if you want to tinker and mod. There's no other reason to get it. I give it a 4 out of 10, and that's being generous. I want to give it a 3 out of 10, but I'm going to be generous because some of them are at least working, so I'm giving it a 4 out of 10. This is the first time I actually had an angry rant on the channel, and for good reason. I wanted this to be good. When I first got this out of the package, I was so happy, and they ruined it. Anyway, guys, thank y'all so much for watching. I hope to see y'all in the next one. Sorry for being negative in this review. Next one will be a positive one, I promise. Bye-bye.
My junk drawer, my junk drawer. So many things, I don't know what they're for, but I won't let it go. No, I will add more useless little things to my junk drawer.